Today on my show, dark chocolate brownies. Oh, I'm salivating just thinking about that. Frank Jordan and Mark, his son, are here to tell you what's new at NSC Company, right? NSC beta-glucan. It's amazing the research they're doing and how they're generating better products coming out of the assembly line. Really, really exciting. I love that product. I'm going to open today talking about polysymptomatic patients. The one person that goes to the doctor and they've got everything wrong. Does the drug nystatin that kills fungus help these people? And then importantly, Dr. Margaret Christensen, she's an OBGYN who got sick and her own prescription pad couldn't help her. All that and more on this, Know the Cause. This show is brought to you by the NSC Company. When you can't, Beta Glue can. My name is Doug Kaufmann. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. In the years I worked clinically in doctors' offices, it was amazing how many people used to come in and they'd say, look, I have an appointment with Doug, but if we could hurry this along, I only have 35 minutes. I've got to get to my bone doctor, my psychiatrist, my skin doctor, blah, blah, blah. In other words, they took a day off work to go to all their doctors. Many of you do this, folks. You run from doctor to doctor to doctor. Maybe I can help resolve that. Maybe all those symptoms can be rolled into one ball. Look at this opening. Many symptoms, one patient. We call these polysymptomatic, poly means many, polysymptomatic patients. They spend a great deal of time trying to find doctors who can help them. Rarely are they ever effective unless and until a doctor tests and treats them for a condition we call a systemic mycosis. This is exactly what they got when they ended up in Dr. Weekly's office that brought me from Los Angeles in 1987 to his office. And I worked with him until probably 91 or 92. He passed shortly thereafter. And we were ready to go back to California, but his patients were so amazing. They helped me open a nutrition office and they sent all their friends and it was amazing. Dr. Weekly didn't know about systemic mycosis. There are localized, myco means fungus. There are localized fungal infections, right? Ringworm, scalp problems. Dandruff is seborrheic dermatitis, which is a fungal problem. And then there are serious problems that can generate once this fungus gets in your body, in your liver, in your kidneys, in your bones, in your muscles. You know them. They all have sophisticated names. And you go to this ologist for that one, and this ologist for that one, and the depressionologist for this. And I've got to tell you, folks, I'll help resolve, I think, some of your problems. Okay, so next graphic. Now, this was in Family Practice News, June 18th, 18 years ago, 2001. And this blows me away. Polysymptomatic patients often have fungal exposure. You want proof? Here's the title of the paper. Effectiveness of this antifungal drug called nystatin in polysymptomatic patients. Remember, nystatin is a 70-year-old prescriptive antifungal drug. All it does is kill fungus. And look at what they surmised after doing this paper. Nystatin is superior to a placebo in reducing localized and systemic symptoms of polysymptomatic patients. Results probably would have been enhanced by following a sugar and yeast-free diet. They didn't know me apparently in 2001. Folks, it's been such an honor to do this show we're in our 20th year now, because I see medical papers coming out supporting this. I think so many of you ran to your doctors and threw the fungus word at them, and they weren't ready for that, because that's something medical school doesn't teach. What if our health problems in the world were due to fungus and nobody taught the doctors that? I think that's the conundrum we find ourselves in today. So what did I used to tell these people? It was so funny. I remember it was a skin doctor, so the itchies and the hives and you know, the skin problems would pretty easily clear up. Put them on a little fish oil, which is antifungal. Put them on a little B vitamins, antifungal. Changed their diet, antifungal, and they got better. But so many of them said, does this have anything to do with arthritis or dementia? Because man, I'm feeling better all around. Okay, let's look at what I did. The Kaufmann program. Eat what fungi don't. If you can remember those 4 words, you're going in the right direction. Live food is preferable over dead, canned, or boxed food. Ask a doctor for antifungal medications for a few weeks. 80% probability he'll tell you no. On my website, my home page, there's the antifungal doctor's protocol right up in the right-hand page. Click on that, print off, it's 2 pages. It gives the doctor plenty of science, and maybe he will give you a couple of antifungals. Take supplements known to inhibit fungal growth. Resveratrol, which makes purple grapes purple, vitamins, minerals, and plant extracts. Slowly detoxify by sweating or using a far infrared sauna. This takes time, but it can be life-saving. It often is life-saving, folks. You have to know you've got to start at the beginning and you've got to work your way through this. It won't happen in a few days. Clean water, clean lifestyle. You've really got to get, as the train goes by, you've got to get on board. You got to understand, give it a month or 2, and you may just be feeling tremendous. I hope this helps. And welcome back, folks. Thank you for being with me today. Little personal testimony. A couple of years ago, I was flying. I was so excited to be asked by all these doctor groups to speak about fungus and mold and so forth. Didn't buy my supplements. Went away. The one I take every day up to then was this product. It's called NSC 100. Just didn't reorder it. I was on a flight every week, it seems. Got sick. Ended up with pneumonia. Went to a doctor. Got on an antibiotic. Since, past year and a half, I've taken 1 NSC 100 every day. We just went through a bad flu, especially here in the South, and I came through it just perfectly. Frank, you know, Frank Jordan has been a sponsor of this show for over 20 years. Mark, his son, you will get to know. How important is it when you put a capsule in your mouth that it's been quality controlled, right? Folks, this company dwells on something called QC and SOP. Standard operating procedure and quality control. Tough job, Mark, but you've taken it on, and congratulations. I love where you're going with the company.
Well, thank you, Doug. It takes an incredible amount of time and effort to keep abreast of the regulations, but that's something that we strive for at NSC, because not only is that setting a benchmark, but we purposely exceed it in many aspects, not only for our testing requirements of water, raw ingredients, processing agents, and many other sorts, but we also try to instill in our, not only our employees, but our direction of research, that we want to be the best, and it has been proven.
Is it great working with the University of Nevada? I mean, without them, they're kind of steering your ship and telling Frank, you know, let's get this done, this done, this done, let's buy this equipment. Poor Frank, they're writing these checks, but still, this is a quality product. It's so tiny that receptor sites will accept it, right? And other beta-glucan, that's just a big question. So QC is important.
You're right, because we're regulated by the FDA, and that also applies to us many different aspects of quality. HACCP, hazard analysis, critical control points, which you understand where the areas that could be vulnerable to problems in not only the specifications and the process, but also we focus on staying abreast of emergent not only regulations but technologies to improve and make the products safer, not only in the manufacturing process, but as every aspect of analytical understanding of the material itself.
Frank, the brilliance of what you've done decades ago, sitting down with Dr. Ken Hunter, a noted immunologist here in the United States. He's been on this show. Thank you for that. And then steering Mark into this direction. You know, your son, how cool is that to hear him talk like that and know what he knows?
Well, it gives you great pride, but I want to speak directly to your audience and saying all these regulations are very important, and it's absolutely paramount that what you get is safe. But you need to recognize that where your health is concerned and that of your family, second best isn't good enough. And that's been our goal, Doug, in NSC from the inception when we started together long, long ago. But the point is that the product that we want you and your audience to put into their system be the very best to accomplish, and that's to activate your immune cells to get them to better respond faster to what seeks to harm you. And if we can accomplish that, then you get over it. And you know, we're sitting here, you can talk about all the complexities, but the point is we don't want to get it. If we get it, we want to get over it fast, and we don't have it linger. All these coughs that go on forever, all this stuff, let's stop it and activate that immune system and be all you can be with what you were given by the good Lord.
Frank, is that what beta-glucan does? Does it tend to modulate, put glasses on our immune cells to direct them into phagocytizing, you know, gobbling up debris in our body?
You're right. To normalize, to bring you back to what you should have been with your life preserver cells, and then to activate those cells to respond appropriately to kill that which seeks to harm you. That's it.
A lot of polysyllable words there. Really, really smart guys I hang with. Thank you guys for being in. What all that means is when I didn't take it, I got really, really sick and almost ended up in a hospital, which for me would have been chaos. I got fixed with an antibiotic, and for the past 15, 17 months, I've taken one of these every day. No such flu. Will it work for you? Try some free. It's on them. At the end of the show, I'll teach you how to get this envelope sent to you free, no charge to you, 80 pay shipping, with 10 of the capsules in it. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you. How many of you were like that intermittently last night? Insomnia. I did a story on insomnia one time, Dr. Christensen, and it was amazing. There's like, 20 million people in 3 states that suffer from insomnia, and it's intermittent. Some nights they sleep really well because they're so exhausted.
Right.
But it's the up all night. And folks, what you don't know is Dr. Christensen, and I want to introduce you to her. Her name is Margaret Christensen. She is a medical doctor, OBGYN for 23 years or so, and then got sick. And folks, when a doctor gets sick, they're trained in this. When they get sick and can't figure it out, all their medications, and they have to turn to food, clean air, herbs, that's how all of this came about. Dr. Christensen, tell your story and then talk about insomnia. I mean, I know you've been outspoken on that.
Well, I mean, this is a huge issue behind, again, everything that we see. When you don't sleep well, then your immune system is disrupted, you can't think straight, you're irritable all the time, anxiety gets worse, and then the anxiety feeds the inability to sleep. You're tired in the morning, what do? You want to drink a bunch of coffee.
Right.
What does the coffee do? Well, it increases adrenaline, that's your fight or flight hormone. And then if your body can't clear that adrenaline, then at nighttime what do you want is a couple glasses of wine. And then the alcohol and the caffeine together disrupt your sleep, so then you can't sleep. And so, maybe you're worried about work or stress, but there's so many toxins, and toxic mold and the mycotoxins they produce is one of the #1 things that can cause insomnia issues.
And not only that, but many of these people, most of them, were seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Absolutely.
So it's not just insomnia, folks. It's so much deeper. Insomnia might be due to stress, like Dr. Christensen said, but when you're seeing a doctor about this and you're on medication for this, that's when many people need to think mold if they're craving sugars and so forth. You see a lot of patients like this.
Huge.
Tell the people what you see in these patients.
Well, I think sleep disruption of one sort or another. So it's either trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night, you have pain, you're having hot flashes, or you just wake up and your heart's racing and you don't know why. Those are very common challenges. The other thing is trouble falling asleep. Again, you can't shut that mind down no matter what you do. And so what is everybody doing? Well, they're popping Ambien or taking benzodiazepines or trying to drink more alcohol.
Right.
And then the sleep becomes more and more disrupted over time. That leads to more anxiety, more depression, more caffeine and alcohol, and you get in this really bad vicious cycle.
Did you ever have a patient get a Petri dish? Folks, we spend a third of our lives in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Did you ever have someone put a Petri dish out and see the fuzz that might grow on it?
Well, that's one of the things that we recommend to do. And what's interesting is the company that we recommend to get the Petri dishes from is immunolytics.com. And not only can we help pick up some of the things like penicillium or aspergillus, those are common molds that are found in the air conditioning system and in the walls, but also those pick up candida, which is, I mean, that's your whole bailiwick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the internal yeast and internal fungi that are coming because of our standard American diet, overuse of antibiotics, genetically modified foods covered in Roundup, those are all the things that are creating this internal fungi, releasing mycotoxins internally. We have the external ones. If we have a mold issue in our house, 50% of houses is really common. And no wonder we're having all these challenges with insomnia and sleep. And then you throw on, watching the news at night.
Exactly.
And so
The list is almost
endless.
endless.
And all the stressors. So there's so many beautiful things that we can do to take care of ourselves and sleep better.
You've been following the science better than anyone I know. Isn't it fascinating the way we're saying all these problems tend to initiate here?
They're in the gastrointestinal tract.
Right.
80% of our neurotransmitters, 80 to 90% produced in the gut. So anxiety, depression, sleep, focus, they're fix your gut and it helps to heal your brain.
It's just amazing. Dr. Christensen put on a toxicmoldproject.com, toxicmoldproject.com. Tremendously successful. You interviewed me and many other people, and what a joy that was to be on. She's really an authority, folks. In OBGYN yesteryear, today in all things mold, mildew, fungus, diet, phenolic compounds.
Integrative and holistic medicine. So I'm
Yeah.
board certified in integrative medicine now and functional medicine certified and
Just
teach.
amazing. And CarpathiaCollaborative.com, there's the URL. You can learn more about her. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Doug.
with us. No, I was just kidding in the opening of the show. No dark brownie chocolates. Thank you. God bless. No, watch Abby. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Abby, and today in my kitchen, I'm gonna show you how to make dark chocolate avocado brownies. These are my favorite dessert to make. I absolutely love them, and I'm really excited to show you how to make them today. You can get the full recipe at knowthecause.com. All the ingredients today that I'm using are completely organic. I've got some baker's chocolate already melted in a double boiler. We're gonna use that later, but it's just so you know, it's already melted in just a little bit of coconut oil, about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of coconut oil. You just want it melted, you can set it off to the side. We'll use that in a little bit. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our avocados. And I've got a little personal blender here, and I've got 2 pretty large size avocados. If you don't have large size, you can use 3 medium, but it's gonna be about the same ratio. And we're just gonna and last one. All right. Now, I've got 2 large avocados in there. We're gonna add half a cup of honey. All right. Now, then we're just gonna pop on the blades, and we'll blend this up for a few seconds until everything's nice and pureed and there are no lumps or anything like that. All right, it's nice and blended. Okay, we're gonna set that aside and use that in a little bit. Now we're gonna get to all the other ingredients. First thing you wanna do is mix all your dry ingredients together in a bowl. We've got cocoa powder, baking soda, some salt, and just a tiny bit of coconut flour. And you want to mix all this together. All right. Then we will add some vanilla and eggs. Mix that up. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and add the avocado mixture. And you're just gonna wanna get as much of it out of the little blender as you can. It's okay if you have some left over, that's all right. Just get as much as you can. All right, and then we'll blend this up. Now it's time to add in our melted dark chocolate. So I'm gonna go over to the stove and get that. It's nice, melted. We're gonna pour that right in. Right. And just start to mix that in. Now this is the part for an option. I'm going to add chopped up walnuts. If you want to add nuts, if you like nuts in your brownies, you can go ahead and add them now. If not, you can just leave it how it is. But I'm going to go ahead and add some already chopped in. This is about half of a cup. And just mix everything together. All right, now everything's mixed in. We're going to take our brownie batter. And I've got a little 9x9 pan here with some parchment paper already laid down, so we're gonna pour it into here. All that in there. Set that off to the side. And then we'll just spread it out as evenly as we can. Make sure it's going to all the sides. That's looking good. And then I've got some other chopped up walnuts there that I saved, and I'm gonna sprinkle these on top. Oh yeah, this looks so good. All right. These are good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven for around 30 to 35 minutes, depending on how hot your oven cooks. Basically, when you stick a toothpick in the middle, if it comes out clean, you're done. All right, I've let my brownies cool off. I went ahead and cut them, and just look at these. Look at how good they look. I'm so excited to eat these. I cannot wait to try them. I'm loving all of the walnuts in it. It gives it just a little bit of a crunch, but it's really good. Ah, they're so chocolatey and so good. Do not worry, they do not taste like avocado at all, but you still have the really good avocado healthy fat in there. Again, all the products that I use were organic. I use Manuka honey. Everything is, this is Kaufmann too, because it does have a little bit of honey in it, but everything starves fungus. It's really good for you. It's a good healthy treat to have. This pan made about 16 brownies, depending on the size you cut them in. But for the full recipe, go to knowthecause.com, make yourself a brownie, and have a very great day.
I can still taste those brownies. Hey, thank you so much, Frank and your son Mark, for coming in today and continuing our education. Here are the products they're talking about. There's the phone number. Just jot it down, call them. The green one is 10 milligram. The blue one is 3 milligram. I take the green one every morning. I have for a year and a half, and I feel great. Love how it modulates the immune system. Speaking of which, what's a doctor do when even their own prescription pad can't help them? I hope this doesn't happen to many doctors, but it did happen to Dr. Christensen. She found her way out because she changed. Okay, I thought that was really good. Folks, what do you think about nystatin, a drug that only kills fungus, helping people who have many complaints? Their complaints are most likely fungus. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.